Make it special, make it Maloney.
This segment of the Port Jeff Pulse is sponsored by Houndstown in Port Jefferson, home to the happiest dogs on earth. You know, Karen, we like to keep this show very Port Jeff concentric.
Yes.
Most of the time.
Yes.
Sometimes we go on tangents, but it's all good. But today, in our middle seat, we have Jeffrey Sanzel, the artistic director.
Yeah.
Did I get that title right?
Yeah, you got that right.
Of Theater 3. And it is one of the things, let me say this. Theater 3 is one of those iconic places that you think of when you think of Port Jefferson.
It's beautiful
the
there.
quaint theater of Theater 3.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome.
How
Thank
you
you.
doing?
It's good to be here.
Very
Thank you.
fantastic.
It's so nice to meet
Thank
you.
You know, you think of the harbor, a few other places. Theater 3 is absolutely in there. I want to start with the history of the theater because it is quaint and historic, but I don't know the facts about it.
Well, the building is about 160 years old, and it was, in its day, it was the largest town meeting hall outside of New York City. And it went through many permutations. It was a vaudeville house. Milton Berle and Burt Lahr both played there. It was a silent movie house. And then United Artists had the theater before Theater 3 moved in 1979. So it was, it was a film house.
Are you saying from Manhattan to here, this would be the biggest meeting room?
Well, in its day, not anymore, but back 160
That's
years ago,
amazing.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So the footprint that we see was also the same footprint back then.
Similar. It has been changed over the years, and obviously we've done so much renovating, and United Artists had done a lot of renovating even before the theater moved in 79. But yes, it's in the same place, it's the same front, it's the same structure.
Okay, so bring us from 1979 forward in terms of it's always been used as a theater, never anything else.
No, yeah. Well, Theater 3 was founded in 1969 by 3 theater professionals in the Three Village area, and they worked in all different spaces in the old Smith Haven Ministries, and then the church across the street, the Presbyterian. And then in 79, they bought the building under Bradley Bing's artistic directorship, and that's where it's been ever since.
Okay.
And then I came in 1989 as children's theater coordinator, and then moved up to artistic director in 1993 when Bradley became executive director.
Did you actually answer an ad from where you lived?
No,
You didn't answer a Craigslist ad.
and no, I did. Well, let's face it, 1989,
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
no Craigslist. No, actually, my college apartment mate, Eric Paper, who was an amazing actor, had made his start at Theater 3 in high school. And when I was leaving my current job, I was looking for directing work, and he said, they're looking for somebody to run their children's theater. Why don't you apply? You have the right background for it. So I applied, and I interviewed several times, and I was hired by Bradley Bing, Jerry Friedman, Ronnie Pyrals, and Brent Erlinson.
Yeah, I knew Jerry was part of it.
Yeah, well, Jerry was one of the founding members.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, what a history.
So I came there in 1989, and here I am, many years later.
Wonderful. So you're happy there.
Oh, very, very. I'm very lucky. I get up every morning and go to a wonderful job with amazing people.
And you also kind of create, right? You're in control of creating what's there.
Yes,
and
I'm
that's satisfying.
I'm the artistic head of the theater. I mean, I work closely with a great staff and with my managing director, Vivian Katrakis. But yes, it's amazing the artistic opportunities I've had in that time, not just as a director, but as an actor and as a playwright. So it's a wonderful place to be.
Where did you go to college?
I went to SUNY Purchase.
And there you did...
I majored in acting and directing.
Excellent.
Wow.
That's a nice life. I like that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, I took an acting class in Oneonta. Did you know this, Karen?
No.
And I'm an outgoing person. Anybody that knows me knows that.
Really?
But I found acting, I'm a musician, but I found acting to be difficult, and I think I made it difficult. I think I was so
Self-aware, self-conscious.
too self-aware that I was like thinking about it a lot. You're
Yeah.
probably way past this. I know that. You have to be.
You're
Oh,
never
really?
past it. You're always aware of what you're doing.
I don't like that, being aware, because I like to shoot from the... See, I'm very comfortable here. But for acting, for some reason, I wasn't... I'm being honest, I wasn't comfortable. I think I could do it, but I wasn't comfortable.
Well, doing something like this is very different than acting because as an interviewer, you're bringing yourself to it,
Right.
and you're in the present. As an actor, you're really not. You're working with lines, you're working with staging, you're working with the confines of the surround. So it's a very different thing. Many actors are not outgoing people. They're actually very
This is
shy.
true. This is true.
And because you're working with a different part of you, just as many actors have a very hard time in interviews because they don't want to be
Yes.
themselves.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I've seen
makes
this. My
sense.
father always used to tell me, "Look, he can only read cue cards or whatever." Well, for what it's worth, I commend you for knowing all ends of this. And I've seen you act Scrooge.
Yes.
Well, it's a way of life.
So awesome. Now, how long has that been going on? Your part in Scrooge.
Well, I actually played Scrooge the year before I came to Theater 3 in 1988. And with the exception of the first year at Theater 3 when I just directed and co-adapted, I've played Scrooge every year since. So I've played Scrooge over 1,200 times.
Holy smokes.
That's a lot. So it's become second nature acting.
Wow.
Yes, but every year I'm looking for new things. Every year I'm finding new pieces to put into the adaptation. So it's
change
an
it up a
organic
little
piece.
bit.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
you have to.
Yeah.
And you want the audiences coming to see it, to see something that feels fresh, that they see, oh, yes, I
Yeah.
remember that, but that was different. I call it the Where's Waldo of Christmas Carol. You say, oh, there it is. Oh, there it is.
And a lot of the people that have seen A Christmas Carol at Theater 3 go every year as a tradition.
It is absolutely a
it's,
tradition.
It's important, I think, that you do that.
Oh,
like you said, to keep
absolutely.
it fresh.
Well, the perfect example is, we've been running 35, 40 performances for many years, and then it built up, and we began to add more and more. Now we do between 50 and 55. The first year we introduced a Christmas Eve show, we played to about 125 people. Now that's a sold-out house because people book that a year in advance. They're going to make this their tradition.
Part of the evening.
Yes.
Right.
Some
Right.
people like to come Thanksgiving weekend because it kicks off their
Yep.
Christmas season.
Yep.
So we're very much a part of people's lives
Yes.
in this community, in the
Yes.
Long Island community.
Yes, and traditions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you yourself, or do you have a faction of Theater 3 that teaches acting?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We have
I mean, on all levels?
well, we offer ages 6 through 17. We did offer adult classes for many years. In fact, I taught those classes for about 10 years. And the numbers started going down, so we haven't done that in a while. But we have a very active dramatic academy, 6 classes for ages 6 through 17, broken down, 6 to 8, 8 to 11, 12 to 17. And then in the summer, we have our musical theater factory, which is our summer camp where the kids do a
That's
production. And this year they're doing Seussical Junior. And that's run by Sari Feldman, who's been with me since the inception of the camp. My dramatic academy has been run by different people over the years. I have a girl, Susie Dunn, who actually started as a teacher in the academy at age 19 and went away for 20 years and is now back running it because she's an amazing teacher.
That's sweet.
And our teachers have acting backgrounds, literary backgrounds, so they offer a lot of different things
Right.
to the kids.
Right. Aw,
It's fantastic.
that's awesome.
I want to get back into acting.
Well, you should.
I just want to try it again and see if I have those same feelings. It's like, I don't know, I can't explain it. It just felt uncomfortable to me. I want to get past it.
Maybe
is what
you
I'm
could
saying.
be an extra in The Christmas Carol.
Well, no, I'm not good on extra. I would have to. See, that's why I have
What's
to
the
work.
matter? You need center stage?
Well, what do you think about Tom Cruise coming back to?
Oh, God.
What's it called? This big famous. What are you saying that for?
What is he doing?
It's awesome.
I'm not a Tom
What's the
Cruise
name of the
fan.
movie? Top Gun. Top Gun 2. It's coming back. After
Oh, no.
I love it.
Just leave it alone. Really? Come on.
I think. Listen, I
trying
think
to
he's a perfect example.
trying to resurrect
I
the
think,
dead.
You tell me that he does
Oh,
well as an
no.
actor. He's great.
You know what? He's a very
Does the box office say that? No.
Yes, I mean, and he's a very strong personality. He's a strong
Strong.
presence. But in a star, you look for always being able to see the star and the personality, and that's
Right.
what he sells. I mean,
Yeah.
and he's good at what he does, and he owns what he does. I mean, I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, no, I
but at
wasn't
the same
asking that.
time,
But-
I
but looking-
think
You're
But
definitely
look-
not a fan. I see this.
Yeah.
I was many years ago, but not anymore.
I've learned something about you today. You write people off after 50. I've learned. I'm telling Phil this. He better be careful.
That's not true.
She wrote off Barry Manilow.
Oh, he's like 1,000 years old.
But he's not, right, Jeff?
well,
I just saw him the other
I
day.
mean, listen, Barry Manilow is amazing. He's an amazing
Right.
writer.
Well, you gotta get
He's
people-
so artistic.
You can't say
I'm
this
just
till
not a
after the
Barry
sunset.
Manilow fan. I just don't know.
All right, we'll talk about Justin
Bieber.
Bieber now if you'd like.
No, I don't like him either. I don't like him either. So.
Tough audience.
Yeah,
Tough
I know.
audience. Oh
I
my
know.
God. Yeah. So acting can happen in any. These child actors that start. I think that's good and bad.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that says if you did start 10, 11, 12, you get past what I felt. I do believe that. But then you know what happens to child actors.
You look at some people who do make the transition, and you want to look historically, people like Liz Taylor, Roddy McDowell,
Right.
Mickey Rooney, and yes, they were damaged by the system, but they got through it. Somebody like Drew Barrymore, started as a child, went through a
Yeah.
rough patch, but has really come
Has
through
come
it.
through on the other side. Yeah, that's a good point.
But what's so interesting is theater is something you could start at any point in your life. And case in point, when I was teaching my adult acting workshops, I had students as young as 18, 19, and I had one woman who started at 67 and another man who started at 72. He had been in business, and it was something he'd always wanted to do. He was retired, so he took the class, and he ended up being in a couple of productions.
That's awesome.
And he was very
Ah,
good.
that's
So you
cool.
can start at any
Yeah.
time,
Theater and golf.
It's fun.
I guess.
Except Tiger. He might be done.
Oh, yeah, no, he's not doing too good either.
No, his
Yeah.
back's out. I know. I feel
Yeah,
bad
his
for him.
back's out, and he's. Yeah.
Now, over the last 3 years, I've seen all types of programs popping up at Theater 3.
Mm-hmm.
One that Karen and I experienced was comedy. Now, you have comedy both sometimes in the main theater and downstairs, and you
Mm-hmm. Yes.
have comedy routinely, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And this all came through Paul Anthony from Walk, who's also our producer and who's also a stand-up comedian. And he's been with us over 10 years. And we've had this Long Island Comedy Festival that he introduced and produces. And we have that
love that.
twice in the summer. We have it in the beginning and the end of the summer. And then we have our New Year's Eve show, and usually one or two big comedy shows during the year. And then that's on the main stage. And then we do Comedy Club on our second stage.
That's fun. I've been to that.
And the concert series really is an offshoot of that. Because a few years ago, we were looking, going, boy, the comedy brings in a different audience. It's exciting. It's
Yeah.
something different.
And exposes people to the theater that maybe
Yes.
typically
Wouldn't go.
wouldn't think about
Absolutely.
other things that you have there.
So
right?
now we have, now for the last 5 years, we have a whole summer series that's stand-up comedy as well as live music. And it's a range of live music.
Ooh.
We've had Brooklyn Bridge, and we've
Okay.
had Jay and the Americans, and then we've had cover bands for the Eagles, for Jim Morrison, the
Okay.
Doors. So it's opened up a whole vista
That's very cool.
of events, as well as bringing in a whole different audience. Plus,
Yeah.
where when we were doing a summer show, you might have people come once. Now people come 3-4 times in the summer, and it's become this for different kinds of live music.
Right.
What do you guys do to attract people to Port Jeff and the Theater 3 outside the area?
Oh, well, we have a massive social media presence.
Yep.
Facebook, and then we have a huge emailing list that's over 23,000. And of course, we do a lot of advertising. We do a lot of print work with Newsday, TBR, some of the smaller
Yeah, that's great.
publications.
Okay.
So, in fact, you definitely attract people from all around the Long Island.
Oh, yeah.
No
we,
doubt.
we have
Yeah.
to.
So you'd also be an integral part of commerce down here in terms of restaurants too. It's
Oh,
always
absolutely.
dinner
Dinner and a show,
Yeah.
absolutely, and we're connected to some of the restaurants
Yeah, you
who
do
do
that
dinner
sometimes,
packages,
yeah.
and others. People will say, we're coming to the show. Can you recommend a restaurant? And so, what are you looking for? Price range, and let's face it, Port Jefferson has such a great range
Yeah, they
of
do.
restaurants.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's really
Yep.
nice that it goes hand in hand.
Yep. Yeah.
What are some of the recent improvements made to the theater, if any? I don't know.
Oh,
When I go there, I feel like it's in great shape, but it feels old.
The
It
biggest
feels
thing
historic.
we did in the last 2 years is, of course, we're now handicap accessible. We have a lift, and we have a handicap accessible bathroom, and we're always repainting. We're putting in new carpeting, redoing the bathrooms, seats,
Seats,
yep.
right?
Yeah,
Did the
so
seats?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's got that classic, red, feeling of that
It has
theater
a
I
Vic-
want it to feel like.
Well, we wanted to have a Victorian feel.
Right. That's the word I'm
That's
looking for.
always the emphasis in anything we do.
Right.
We're not looking to make it have a modern feel.
No,
so
you
we
don't
try
want
to
to
keep
lose.
it.
Don't want to lose
Yeah.
the essence of what the theater is over there. No.
A couple of years ago, there was a show that I think you had a big part in. You might even have written it. Tale of Two Mayors.
A Tale of, yes, yeah, I wrote that.
You wrote it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was awesome. What was the idea behind that?
Well, the board of directors wanted to do a fundraiser honoring somebody in the community who had made a great contribution. And Jean had actually been on our board prior to her being mayor. And of course, you know, as a mayor, she was very supportive and she's very arts oriented and
Yes.
Dickens oriented. And then Margot picked up right where she left off. So we thought, what a neat idea to honor both of them together.
Aw.
So thus, A Tale of Two Mayors, referencing A Tale of Two Cities, you know, the Dickens reference, and then an opportunity to celebrate their lives. So I wrote a radio play that actually traced their lives. And then we had music that they both gave us song lists, songs
That
that
was
made,
great.
It's awesome.
you know, that connected to them in their lives and things that they liked. And we brought in some of our finest actors to do it.
So your job in that regard was literally to write that,
Yes.
and to write down to the lines that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually interviewed Jean and Margot separately and together at length to find out their histories and to find a way to shape that into a play. So yes, I wrote that, and I wrote all of the connective stuff and directed the evening.
Very nice. And it was sold out, I think. It was
It was very well attended.
very well attended. So in the next, like, what's happening this summer? Let's bring it right up to date.
Well, right now we have Saturday Night Fever running on our main stage, which has been a huge hit.
Oh,
The
I
reviews
would
were great, and the
love-
audiences were packing it in, and it's a great production, very exciting, and very talented young people. And we have a children's show running. We always have
I
children's
want to ask
theater.
you something about Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
So is it? So I know the movie.
Yes.
Is it that the whole
Yes.
story, if you will?
Oh, yes, absolutely. But it's been adapted for stage. It was done in London and then Broadway, and then they readapted it for its first tour, and then it's been readapted several times.
So someone's playing the John Travolta.
Oh,
part,
absolutely.
And you're able to use all that music, Bee Gees music.
Oh, well, yes, because
you buy these rights.
you
right?
lease the script and
always
the
thought that was so
materials.
interesting, yeah.
It's a company called Theatrical Rights Worldwide. There are about 6 companies that hold the rights to various shows. This is the newest version. This was actually the version that was done in Chicago at the Drury Lane in February. And they kept working on. In fact, I got a script at the beginning of February, and then a revised script that they had done at
Oh
the end of
wow!
February.
Like
So
it's new.
it was very new, and they've really done a lot of work on it since its Broadway incarnation. It has much of the music that you know, but they've also written 4 new songs for it. They brought in a composer to write it because, of course, you know, there's only one surviving Gibb.
I know.
Barry Gibb. So they wrote songs for the show that are very much in the vein of that music. And when they brought Barry Gibb into the studio, he was very moved by it because he said it sounded like we wrote it. These songs are much more character-driven, and they're beautiful, beautiful songs. And they've integrated much of the movie music
original, right,
into it.
soundtrack.
So some of the songs are part of the dance sequences, and some are character-driven. Like Jive Talkin' is done at a White Castle, and it's done between Bobby C. and his girlfriend Pauline. Now, Pauline doesn't exist in the movie. That's the girlfriend who's pregnant. You only see him on the phone with her.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
created her character into this. So they've really fleshed it out.
Okay.
And they've softened it a little bit. It's not quite as harsh
Yeah,
and
okay.
gritty.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's live theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. All audiences.
Oh, I might need to go see that.
I'm so intrigued by this. What about the actual music? It's music. It's not a orchestra, right? It's very rare to have an orchestra. You don't have.
Oh, no,
pit,
we
right?
only do live music.
You do live music.
Yes, no, yeah, always live music at Theater 3.
They're in the corner.
Yes,
right up in
we
the
have
front.
a 7-piece
fantastic.
band. No, we never use tracks.
Oh, God bless you. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, no, I don't believe in tracks.
Because you don't
for live
personally.
theater.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
That's such a great thing to hear.
Yeah, we always use musicians. We get great musicians from all over Long Island. Jeff Hoffman, who's our musical director, is terrific, and he gets excellent people.
Excellent.
And it's very, I always say, why would I not use live musicians? I use live actors.
And you're right.
It also I've gone to many productions there, and it brings such a different energy into
Realness.
the room.
Yeah.
You become totally enveloped into the whole experience there because you're sitting there and the band is right there.
Oh, there's nothing like it.
you're in
I
it.
only said that because even Disney, unfortunately, ended up with this big music box, and they put musicians out, for Disney on Ice and things like that.
Oh.
It was an orchestra of 30, and now it's down to just like a drummer playing over a track. You know this.
Yeah.
And so that is awesome news.
Yeah,
That's
no,
great.
we that is part of our mission.
Excellent. All right, so we spent the time on. I'm sorry, I took you away from where
No,
you're going.
not at all.
Saturday Night Fever, and then you have some other things.
Yeah, we have our children's shows all year round, and we're the only theater on Long Island devoted to original children's musicals.
Okay.
We're the only ones who just do our own material. This particular show I wrote with my artistic associate, Steve McCoy. I wrote book and lyrics, and he wrote the music. It's Princess and the Pea, and it's our own take on it. And all of our productions have a moral bent. You know, it has a
Yeah.
theme.
Yeah.
Like this one, the princess is actually Priscilla Noble, a noble orphan. And we always take a feminist slant on it because many of the stories, at the end, the princess marries the prince because that's what has to
That's what
happen.
has to happen.
We never do that. We always make sure it's her choice and that they've gotten to know each other and that they're comfortable with it. And sometimes we even indicate that they're not getting married yet until they really know each other. So that has been our mission for
So
30
cool.
years.
Oh, that's
That's
so
cool.
adorable.
But they're fun and they're funny and they're animated and again,
Yep.
we usually have a minimum cast of 6, but like this one has 9.
Wow,
And
that's
again,
adorable.
live musician.
Yep.
Original score, choreography, costumes,
The whole
the whole
nine.
9 yards. We do it on the main stage. We do
Yep.
anywhere from 7 to 9 children's shows this season.
I remember taking my son there, the one with the reindeer.
Oh, Barnaby Saves Christmas. Yeah, that was created by Doug Quatrock.
That's such a
who
great-
wrote book, music, and lyrics. That
and
is
Peter Rabbit.
Peter Rabbit is another one that we bring back every year.
Those are the two. I mean, I used to take Connor there all the time when he was a
Oh, that's a
baby.
nice
He was
upbringing.
so
Well,
little.
Well, it's a great way to introduce children to theater.
Yeah.
It's a 1-hour musical. They come in,
Yeah.
they get a program, there's
Yeah.
an intermission,
Yes.
there's they
Yeah.
get the whole experience and then they get to meet the cast afterwards
Yeah.
in the lobby.
Yeah.
And they want autographs, they want to
Yeah.
take
That is
pictures,
fantastic.
Yeah. And they're all in their full
full costume,
costume,
makeup, everything.
Really
It's
cool.
beautiful.
When's the next comedy and/or live?
Well, comedy.
What is it called when you're in the basement there? What is that room
Comedy
called?
Club. That's our second stage. It's Griswold's
That's
Cafe.
that's the word. Yep.
It's also it's the Ronald F. Pyral's Theater, which was a director and a board member and just one of our angels. Ronnie and his wife Julie made enormous contributions to the theater, and they go back to the beginning of the theater before it was even at the theater, and their continuity. And Ronnie passed away, so we named that the Ronald F. Pyral's Theater. And specifically, when we do the one-act festival, it's the Ronald F. Pyral's Theater, but it's Griswold's Cafe.
Okay.
And that's where we do the comedy club. We don't have one of those coming up because in the beginning of July, we have the comedy festival on the main stage.
Okay.
Oh.
For Saturday night. And then at the end of the summer, we have a Friday, Saturday. And then a couple weeks later, in the beginning of September, we have comedy club down there. During the summer, we have, Beatlemania Now coming in. We have a great Frankie Valli tribute band. We have a Jim Morrison tribute. We have a Neil Diamond tribute. All kinds of really great events. Theater3.com. You can see the whole roster.
That's great.
And this as something different, literally from the beginning of
Literally.
July right through the Evans twins at the end. At the end of the summer,
Oh.
beginning of September.
Okay.
Lots to do. Lots
Yes.
to see. Very, very revealing interview.
It's excellent.
Oh, thank you.
Fantastic. No,
Thank
really,
you for having
really
me. This
fantastic.
was great.
Excellent.
I'm glad you made it. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Thank
And
you,
we'll get
Jeffrey.
this up.
It was such a
Thanks.
pleasure.
Good stuff.